This was a story that I witnessed with my own eyes when I was 8 years old. That summer vacation my parents were busy with business, so I went back to my hometown to live with my grandmother. Grandma had a cousin who passed away. Because they were close acquaintances, my grandmother took me to the funeral. To get to her cousin's house, we had to go by bus. Since she didn't go out of the village often, Grandma asked a person on the street where the bus stop was. Luckily, as soon as we got there, the bus had already arrived. The distance to the grandmother's cousin's house was quite long. After sitting on the bus for more than an hour, my grandmother and I finally arrived. Everyone prepared a lot of delicious food. I ate while listening to the adults talk about funerals. It seemed that Grandma's cousin passed away quite quickly. No one in the family would have expected that after just one sleep, they had to part with her. Their family had 2 older sons, so organizing the funeral was not difficult. Early the following morning, a group of people went to the cemetery to dig a grave. I was curious, so I asked my grandmother to come along. Their cemetery was on a low mountain outside the village. Each family in the countryside had its own cemetery. The deceased would be buried in the family cemetery. Entering the cemetery, the people with pickaxes and shovels began to dig. After watching for a while, I got bored, so I ran to the side to play. While I was reading the inscriptions engraved on the tombstone, suddenly I heard the murmur of people digging graves. I ran over excitedly, not knowing what happened. The grave diggers looked so worried. Everyone was bewildered when they saw the object lying at their feet. This was probably the first time they had encountered such a thing. When they dug to a depth of more than a meter, a large rock appeared on the ground and made it impossible for them to dig any further. Those grave diggers told the family that the rock underneath was too big to be dug out. The dead woman's husband heard this and frowned, but they couldn't do anything but find another location to dig a grave. However, one of the grave diggers told the family that it was bad luck to dig 2 graves. The older man was a little angry when he heard that. He angrily said that if the grave could not be dug, where would the dead be buried? The 2 people who were digging graves were a little confused but didn't know how to solve this, so they had to do as the older man said. After discussing it, the 2 of them dug another grave not far from the old one. A few days later, the funeral was conducted. Many people came to offer their condolences to their families. Everyone was sorry for the sudden passing of the older woman. After completing the rituals, the son held his mother's photo and went to the family cemetery for burial. Maybe because the family was busy, even the first grave dug did not have time to fill it up. My grandmother and I went home after her cousin's burial, but unexpectedly just 3 days later, the family continued to report the funeral. The one crying at the door was the eldest son of my grandmother's cousin. I met him a few times at the funeral a day ago. My grandma invited him to the house, poured him water, and asked him what was wrong, and I listened at the door. The eldest son of the family took a cup of water, choking on what happened after we left his house. His younger brother was Taro. Taro was a construction worker. After the funeral ended, he also rushed back to his work. That day, Taro was pushing a cement truck when the newly built wall suddenly collapsed in front of him. By the time Taro realized danger was approaching, it was already too late. The bricks were now falling towards him. The bricks then completely covered Taro's body. Many people working nearby heard the crash and rushed to run. However, when the other workers pulled Taro out of the pile of bricks, he became a pile of shredded meat. Blood splattered everywhere. According to local custom, 2 funerals could not be held consecutively within 100 days, so Taro's coffin was not brought home. The older brother had to bring Taro's coffin to his house, but before he could get through the door, his wife stopped him. The younger brother died. The mother also died. The wife's attitude was too harsh. The couple argued loudly about this. The wife firmly refused to leave Taro's coffin in the house for fear of bad luck, but the husband did not agree to leave his brother's coffin on the street. Taro's death was pitiful enough. The couple argued for a long time, and the wife finally agreed to lay Taro's coffin inside the house, but only in the backyard. The eldest brother also had no other choice and had to ask someone to push the coffin into the backyard. Taro's coffin was placed next to a large cage. The older brother was sad, but there was nothing he could do. Just like that, the coffin was placed in the backyard to wait until the day it was buried. Even there was not a simple funeral for Taro. Early the following morning, the wife went to the backyard to feed the pigs as usual, unaware that something terrible was about to happen. Before she had time to go to the backyard, she saw the pigs suddenly rushing out. Did she forget to close the barn door yesterday? The wife thought for a while and was sure that she had closed and locked the barn door carefully yesterday. How could they get out? Fortunately, the pigs did not lose any. The wife didn't think much of it and quickly brought the pigs back to the barn. However, not knowing what happened after that, the wife looked very panicked, shouted and dropped the bucket of pig bran on the ground. Her face suddenly darkened. A cold wind blew from nowhere, causing the wife to shiver involuntarily. It turned out that her pigs collided with the coffin after escaping from the barn, causing the coffin to overturn in the middle of the yard. Taro's body was now full of bite marks. The wife's screams made the husband in the house panic and run to the backyard to see his younger brother's body lying on the ground. He burst into tears and rushed forward. The husband was holding his brother's body sobbing, and his wife was looking very panicked over there. After turning over the younger brother's body, the husband asked his wife to quickly help him put the brother's body back into the coffin. However, the wife did not want to touch the corpse. The wife's attitude and the fact that she placed the coffin in the backyard made the husband extremely angry. The wife then did not even admit her fault and said extremely outrageous words that made the husband unable to control his anger. The eldest brother could not bear it anymore, turned his head and scolded his heartless wife. Then he waved his hand and slapped his wife in the face with a very painful slap. The wife was a gentle person, never touching anyone, but this time the wife was too much. The wife covered her face with her hands and said he was an abuser, but everyone knew that the husband was only driven by anger to act like that. After saying this, the wife turned away and asked for a divorce. She kept screaming to let the neighbors know that she was beaten by her husband. The wife went into the house to get dressed, went straight to the door without saying a word. It seemed that she was thinking about going back to her mother's house. While walking to the railway section, she ran into a neighbor. Seeing that her face was swollen from the slap, the neighbor asked her about it. The wife was angry and ignored the kind neighbor. The wife even cursed under her breath, saying that he was a talkative bastard. However, just when the wife was about to cross the track, the neighbor's face immediately panicked. He shouted and stretched his hand forward to prevent the other wife from crossing the railway tracks. It turned out that there was a train ahead. The train whistle was howling, but somehow the wife still didn't hear anything and walked across the tracks. And whatever comes would come. The wife was tragically killed by a passing train. In just a few short days, their family had to receive 3 tragic deaths in a row. It was really a rare thing. The eldest son choked up and told his grandmother about the successive calamities that occurred at home and asked for my grandmother's help with the funeral. Because the relationship between the two families was good, my grandmother promised him that she would arrange the family and help them take care of the funeral. Taro was buried in a pre-dockside grave. As for the daughter-in-law, I thought it was the revenge of the younger brother.